The brown liquid dripped slowly down Nina Thompson's curls, soaking the collar of her navy blue blouse. Behind her, Jessica Whitmore's sharp, cruel laugh echoed across the open floor of Apex Marketing's Manhattan office. "Oops," Jessica sneered, letting the empty Coca-Cola can clatter onto Nina's desk. "I thought you could use something to refresh those mediocre ideas." The room rippled with laughter. Brad Mitchell, the smug account coordinator, raised his iPhone 15 and shouted, "Look everyone! The diversity hire just got a diversity shower." Even the HR assistant, Samantha Chun, couldn't help but laugh as she fired off a text. "When you hire based on quotas and not competence. #reality check." Nina sat still, motionless. Sticky soda ran down her arms and splattered across the investor presentation she'd spent 2 weeks preparing. She was the only black analyst at Apex. At 29, with a degree from a public college and a resume built through scholarships and sacrifice, she had walked into this office 6 months ago with quiet ambition. But from day one, she'd been treated like she didn't belong. Jessica leaned in close. Her Chanel perfume mixed sickeningly with the sweet fizz of soda. "You know what your real problem is, Nina?" she whispered. "You don't know your place. Just because you got a little public school degree doesn't mean you belong at this table." Behind the conference room's glass walls, a few employees watched awkwardly. Some were embarrassed. Most looked away. It was the Friday before Labor Day, the perfect day for a quiet act of humiliation. The office was nearly empty. Nina looked up, her brown eyes shining. Jessica smirked. "Are you gonna cry?" But Nina wasn't crying. She was calculating. She picked up her phone. Calmly. Silently. Brad leaned closer, filming. "What's that? Calling your mommy? Or your Uber boyfriend in the Bronx?" Samantha laughed again. "Bet he took the subway in." What none of them knew was that Nina Thompson wasn't just another analyst trying to survive corporate America. There were things not even her HR file revealed. Connections. Power. A plan. Nina typed a short message. "You just made the best decision of your lives," she whispered. Jessica blinked. "What?" "In 15 minutes, Nina said, glancing at her wrist. Her Patek Philippe watch, one no one had ever noticed, ticked quietly. And then the private elevator dinged. The one only used by the board of directors. 3 security guards stepped out, followed by a tall, commanding man in a Tom Ford suit. "Nina." His voice cut through the office like a blade. "Alexander Sterling. Billionaire CEO of Sterling Enterprises. Estimated net worth, $7.8 billion. And Nina's husband." "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice trembling with fury as he saw her drenched in soda. Jessica's eyes widened. "Who the hell are you?" "This is our office and she's our employee." Alexander turned. "Wrong. This is my office. Sterling Enterprises owns a controlling stake in Apex." Brad dropped his phone. Samantha's face drained of all color as she pulled up LinkedIn, confirming the truth. Nina wiped her face, still calm. "You judged me by my appearance," she said. "But you never cared to find out who I really am." 4 years ago, she'd met Alexander at an MIT tech conference. She was a scholarship student. He was a guest speaker. What began as a conversation about algorithms became a bond built on shared vision and mutual respect. But she never used his name. "I wanted to earn my place," she said. "Not inherit it." What Jessica, Brad, and Samantha also didn't know was that for 6 months, Nina had been quietly documenting everything. Derogatory emails. Stolen ideas. Meeting recordings. Video footage. All stored securely. "You thought I was weak because I was quiet," Nina said. "You confused dignity with submission. Big mistake." Then another figure stepped out of the elevator. Marcus Chun. lead attorney for Sterling Enterprises, and Nina's best man at her wedding. He handed them folders. Complete documentation of racial discrimination, workplace harassment, and a hostile work environment. "This is ridiculous," Brad shouted. "They were just jokes." "Jokes," Alexander said, holding up Brad's still recording phone. "Like this one? Diversity shower? Uber boyfriend? Back to the ghetto?" Samantha burst into tears. "Please. I have bills. A family." "So do I," Nina said. "My mother's a nurse. My father's a bus driver. They gave up everything to educate me. And you mocked that." What no one knew was that Nina had also created something else. A system. Project Prometheus. A predictive marketing algorithm that boosted Apex's performance by 47%. Worth $47 million. Patented entirely in her name. "You have 30 minutes to clear your desks," Alexander said coldly. "Try to retaliate and we'll see you in court." Jessica turned to the remaining staff. "You're seriously letting this happen?" But now the silence turned on her. IT manager Tom Williams stepped forward. "Actually, Jessica, many of us admired Nina's work. You created the toxic culture." As security moved in, Nina gathered her laptop. She paused beside Jessica. "You know what's ironic?" she whispered. "I was going to quit today. But you gave me something better." At 3:47 p.m., a company-wide email went out. Effective immediately, sweeping new diversity policies. Alexander turned to Nina. "The scholarship fund?" She nodded. "Exactly. Let's start by using their shares to fund scholarships for black youth in tech." And it wasn't over. The next day, the company auditorium was filled. On the big screen, a new presentation. Evidence of hostile environment. Thompson versus Apex Marketing. Screenshots. Emails. A WhatsApp group called Elite Apex, where Brad posted photos of Nina with captions like, "Found the missing maid." The room gasped. Then, Nina's algorithm. Her invention. Estimated value. $47 million. Licensed exclusively to Sterling Enterprises. All profits, Alexander added, will go to the Nina Thompson Fund. Samantha sobbed. "This is extortion." Brad shouted. "No," Marcus replied, calm. "This is evidence of hate crimes, moral harassment, discrimination, each punishable by up to 5 years. Then came the final slide. Immediate termination. Just cause. Their faces flashed red on the screen. Jessica screamed. "I'll fight this. I'll sue." "You can try," Nina said. But Brad recorded everything, including the moment you drenched me in Coca-Cola. The video played. No one looked away. Then Alexander stepped up. "From now on, all companies partnering with Sterling Enterprises will undergo full diversity audits." Samantha whispered, "Broken. My career, my reputation, it's all gone." "No," Nina said. "You destroyed mine for 6 months. This is just justice." Then the final screen. The Nina Thompson Fund. Initial value, $50 million. Goal, 1,000 full scholarships in tech for young black women. 6 months later, the Metropolitan Opera House was packed. Nina, now globally known, stepped onto the stage. She wore a black Armani suit. Not to impress, but because now no one could judge her for her wardrobe. "When they threw Coca-Cola at me," she began, "they thought they were humiliating me. What they really did was water the seed of a revolution." In the crowd, Fortune 500 CEOs, civil rights leaders, and 347 scholarship recipients, the first wave. The final surprise? Her invention, the EquiHire app, AI software that detects corporate discrimination patterns. Already adopted by 1,200 companies. Revenue, $180 million. All donated. Her father, a retired bus driver, stepped up holding her Nobel Peace Prize. "My daughter was always brilliant," he said, choking back tears. "They only saw her color. Now the world sees her brilliance." On screen, the old Apex Marketing Building, now the Nina Thompson Institute for Technological Equity. One comment from social media said it best. "They didn't fire her. They lit the match. And she burned the whole system down, just to build a better one." And Nina? She ended with a sentence that would go viral around the world. "They thought it was revenge. But it was never revenge. It was justice. Revenge destroys. Justice builds."